Sirs, we are privileged to have the President and Chairman in Council of the Institute of Strategic Management in attendance, and he's going to be taking one of the most important classes in this session. So I'll just quickly read his citation, and then we'll call him up. Mr. Alex Ndudi Enebeli has built strategic skills across policy, management, strategy, and governance through more than 4 decades of hands-on experience in the private and public sector. He is President and Chairman in Council of the Institute of Strategic Management Nigeria Chartered. Mr. Enebeli served in the Federal Civil Service with the Niger Delta Development Commission, where he rose through the ranks to retire as a Director of Procurement. His portfolio of appointments span youth, sports and women affairs, learning and development, training development, events management, and protocol. He is an ideas enthusiast and has championed the nurturing of innovative ideas to support development of local content. His commitment to sustainable development through responsible private sector investment and participation is showcased through his leadership of multiple successful businesses. Mr. Alex is the chairman of Ideas Corp Limited, a business management consultancy outfit with local and international A-list clientele. He is a performance consultant where he brings to 4 decades of capacity building experience to enhance individual and organizational capacity of clients across the public, private, and non-profit sectors. Mr. Enebeli belongs to several professional and recreational organizations where he has cultivated extensive networks to weave an ecosystem of professionals in the governance, strategic management, finance, banking, manufacturing, and academia. He is a board member of the Garden City Premier Business School, chairman implementation. He has been the chairman of implementation for women empowerment in Rivers State and chairman Rivers State Cycling Association, a member governing board of Sports Rivers State Council. Mr. Alex Ndudi Enebeli is an alumni of the University of Calabar with a BSc in Literary Studies, a postgraduate diploma in Industrial Sociology and Personal Management from Imo State University, Owerri. He enjoys outdoors and is married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my boss and the president of the Institute of Strategic Management, your director retired, Mr. Alex Ndudi Enebeli.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. So am I even standing? Thank you. This is indeed a profile, and I hope that I don't fail you. But he didn't tell you one aspect of me, very important part of my profile, which is not often known, that I failed woefully, plenty times before I succeeded. And I'll tell you why I failed. Several years back, about 35, 36 years ago, I was doing business with a colleague of mine, a friend of mine. We were partners. And we used to do business with some dredging companies, oil and gas companies, and a lot of business with NAFCON. We made so much money, and of course, while being owed so much by NAFCON, something unfortunate happened. The finance companies were folding up, having issues. So the finance company that financed our transaction with NAFCON was among those in very serious problem. And so they called back the loan we took. I don't know how many of you have owed so much in your early years in business. And then, of course, that meant serious trouble. And for very many weeks and months, it was a serious problem. And that problem led to a business failure. Hello? They didn't tell you that. And that's part of my profile. Okay. Some of you may know that I attended University of Calabar. And I went to Calabar as a business person. I had a dancing restaurant in Calabar known as Bubble Sweet, very close to Jarian Restaurant for those who schooled in Calabar 35 years or so ago. And I was there. If you wanted to be Miss Unical, Mr. Unical, or any of those social stuff, and you haven't come to eat in my restaurant, you're not going to win election. That's how popular I was. And I had flashy cars. I've always loved cars. I love flashy cars then. The group of students wanted to go for recreation, sightseeing. And they went towards Sudukbani, Akankpa area. They were sightseeing. By Police College at Sudukbani, down the hill was a natural water spot. These students from Geography, Regional Planning Department went there, saw it, they were amazed. I was told the story. I went to see for myself, natural spring water. I quickly put up a company, put up a water bottling plant. At the time that it was only in Lagos that you had any water bottling company, and the one you saw along the roads were pure water. It was nowhere else in any part of Nigeria. So I and my friend bottled what we call generations water from the spring source. We spoke to Dukbani community heads, and the chiefs, leased that place for us for 40 years. It was about 40 plots of land around the spring water. So we prepared to have German partners. We hired anyone from Calabar here, you will know, we hired the warehouses that Calsemco expatriates left. We hired warehouses, we had guest houses to impress our German partners. It was happening. Okay, we bottled our water, but it wasn't commercial quantity. But because we're expecting some German investors to come, bring money, so we needed to do things to impress them. So we went and we hired warehouses. You can imagine a cement company quitting, and some small fries are just taking up where they were quitting. Well, there was this massive student crisis. Ali must go or something like that. And the German embassy in Nigeria advised the Germans who were coming to do inspection for us, all that we're borrowing to, just look good and look very big and impress them. They advised them that Nigeria was a political risk to invest. So everything we borrowed to do crashed. What we started, we just got sample product, and you're posing. You go to NAFDAC, you're talking big. It not be today I start to. So the long and short of the story is that when that thing crashed, and we had so much we had put in, did bogus things, again, we failed. So I failed woefully. They didn't tell you in my profile. But I'm telling you, I failed. You know how it is to have ripe, very ripe pawpaw? You didn't pluck it. Wind just blew and the thing, I scattered. At this time, because of my activities in Calabar, I had another restaurant then it was Polytechnic Gate, Crutech, which is Cross River State University now. I had what was called the Cabbage, another restaurant. So I was happening, but when these failures came, I had to run. Okay, because a lot of people didn't know I was also a student. I never stayed in hostel. They've always seen me as a business person. So I had to leave. I sold the restaurant and I came down to Port Harcourt. Came to Port Harcourt, of course, never said die. I had a friend, we understood that Shell was looking for some local Nigerian consultants for EIA, all that consultancy. So what was it? We put ourselves together and partnered with some lecturers, Uniport, Unitech, and all of that. We're scientists. And we fronted. We were the marketing officers. We just went, we're consultants. When it comes to scientific questions and all of that, we direct to scientists. When it came to marketing, we presented everything. And they gave us a job. We started. But you see, in the partnership, one thing was very clear. I was very broke. We had to begin to sell the cars we were using and began to sell the vehicles that we were using for car hire because we had several invoices unpaid, and of course we had to survive. Okay? During this period, unfortunately, we weren't paid for a very long time, so it became so difficult. The only good thing that happened to me within a space of about 4 or 5 months was that, I gave my life to Christ. And then the late Professor Nofagara was my pastor several years back in Redeem. And I was in a baptismal class and all of that, but something happened. I decided that even without money, I was going to get married. I got married, and for the next 1 year, I was a bread eater. Don't ask me how I got married, because I still had some cars and assets to sell. I was a bread eater. My wife fed me for 1 year. Hello? So one day I woke up, I said, what really is this? I never planned to work anywhere. I didn't plan at any time to be a public servant or to work under anyone. While in Unical, I had friends who were going for youth service. They will go and come serve in my company. I graduated at 30. There was no need to go to the youth service, so I got exemption. So I went to school at old age just because I needed a degree. So if I didn't fail, woefully. If I didn't think that I would require a degree someday, I wouldn't have gone to school because I was simply employing graduates. So when I got married, I sat down. I wrote a proposal that created what you call TMARIV. The first year it was road management team. It didn't get paid by government. It was based on what was called traffic offender pays, TOP policy. We created that idea. Odili used that idea to solve traffic problems. And I was working under Lem Chukwu Obowo, the then commissioner. I was the SA running it. So Lem Chukwu Obowo became so popular, I think some hired assassins went after him. They shot him in his village, and then his intestines were coming out. So he was rushed to BMH. They stabilized him and freed him to South Africa. For 3 months, he was in South Africa. And during this period, Odili was to appoint a Corps Marshal General, like the general manager of the road management team. And some persons protested that, this guy didn't carry ballot boxes with us. Why is he getting the appointment? So they frustrated that act. And then gradually, I got frustrated again. And it looks like things weren't going to work at all. And this woman was still feeding me. I was a bread eater, don't forget. At this time, I had attended interview only 2 places, Shell and NDDC. It was Akintola Williams that conducted the interview on behalf of NDDC. I was the best performing person for principal manager. When they offered me manager, and I rejected it. They said the level for principal manager had been zoned to another local government, for those for River State. I said no, I wasn't going to take manager, it was too small. 3 months after, the group school in GRA called me that we should withdraw my daughter and my son because we couldn't pay the fees. This fee had ended. It was getting to a second fee to be paid. And I looked up, I looked down. What kind of thing is this? And I said to my wife, you see that job I rejected? I'm thinking about taking it. And we prayed. The next morning, someone called me. Look, you have only 24 hours. It was a Friday. You have only 24 hours to accept this. Do you know people are looking for a job? And they gave you manager. You say you're looking for principal manager. When the person finished berating me, I said, okay, I will accept it. So by force, I accepted manager instead of principal manager. It was a Friday, and I wrote my acceptance letter, which was submitted the next Monday. That is the history of how I became accidental public servant. And I swore to myself that from day one, I will start preparing for my exit. That's how I started preparing for retirement. So you didn't hear the good, you didn't hear the bad side. I've just told you now. That is how I became a public servant. And that's how I determined that from day one, I was going to do something very definite, preparing for exit. So from the day that I got into NDDC, I started preparing for exit. By the way, I retired 2 years ago, and thank you, but they haven't paid me my severance. I was just asking my sister here, what happened? I've not been paid my severance. And 2 years after, I think it's frustrating. And that's why I have to warn you. It is not in your control. When you leave, you have left. You can't influence much. National Assembly is oppressing the MD and the executives. And sometimes you demand upon what money comes in, they don't have control. So when you leave, be sure that you are preparing not to get frustrated, but to get, better. Hello? So that is the foundation. I need to tell you something, that it is not about how much you earn. No. It's not about how much money you make. No. It's not about how influential you are. No. Because whatever seat, whatever influence you occupy, whatever favors you get now, the moment you're out of that seat, it's gone. People love the seat, they love your title. They are not in love with you. That's the shade of retirement. I decided that I will be like the man to the right. Don't I look it? But most retired NDDC staff, they look like left wing. Don't be like the man on the left. I did an investigation. I did a research. The oil company executives, few years back, Ajip, Shell, most of them will take early retirement. They had so much money. But they are not street smart. You can have so much money, but if you haven't failed before or have experience of failing, that money could develop wings. What I'm going to share with you is about the experience from failing, so you don't have to fail. People say experience is the best teacher, but let your own teacher not be the one that will force you to frustration. Let it be the experiences that other people have had and you have learned your lesson. Are you ready? Yes, okay. Now, some of those, or most of those who retired from Shell, Ajip, Total, were paid so much. Most of them used to live in estates. They lived in very protected environment. They had no understanding of how NEPA behaves. But if you have understanding, you live outside an area that is protected. You and I have experienced that when NEPA takes light, there's something you have to do to put light for yourself. Not so? But some of those guys those days never had such. They lived where their organizations provided so much for them. I'm a living witness that anyone who works in NDDC is not a poor person. Hello? It's not about how much you make. NDDC is good to work for, so you have to protect it. But while protecting it, plan for your exit. So I'm going to teach you how to design your retirement. If you don't design your life, if you don't design your house, some other person will design girls' quarters for you. Not even boys' quarters, girls' quarters. So design your retirement. That's what we're going to do. Now, those people who retired, who got so much money out of their organizations and took early retirement, most of them were duped because they didn't have experience of what to do. Some of them actually went thinking that because my neighbor is doing this is raining, I'll make it that kind of business. It's not everything that works for the other man that will work for you. And I'll teach you why. Hello? Now, for some of them, it was because they didn't live with an open mind. The man on the left tells you the picture of anxiety, fear, frustration, limited. That man is dying by installment. That's the way some of us are, by not thinking that tomorrow will come. Some of us are thinking that the comfort you have now will continue. Wake up. It's a dream. Some of you are thinking that the seats, the opportunities, the favors, as you're reigning now, no king reigns forever. Prepare for your exit. This man on the left obviously lived the same kind of life. He thought the favors, he thought the economy will never change for worse. He thought everything will roll out fine, but he never did. So as you see him there, he's filled with regret. Plan your retirement before you regret. Retirement is not an end, but a beginning. Retirement is an opportunity to experiment and to explore, to engage in pursuits you value, and perhaps to reinvent your legacy. Some people want to retire to a more quiet lifestyle. Some want a mixture of a quiet and a bubbling side. Some want to go into some professional consulting. Some want to break into a full-fledged brick and mortar business. Brick and mortar business is a business that requires your presence always, like restaurant. Okay? Some will go into consulting. Some will go into professional service. It depends. Some will have a hobby or a passion that will lead them to a retirement business. For some of, or most of us here, what you're doing right now might give you an opening, an inkling to what you may be able to do, right? Part of what I did when I was in the commission was being head of training school. I was head of training school. And part of what I did at that time actually prepared me for some of what, or most of what I'm doing now. For 8 years running, I handle executive programs on entrepreneurship, pre-retirement, leadership, and strategy for Lagos Business School. I've been doing that while still working for NDDC. I've been doing that. It was part of what I did for Lagos Business School that made Garden City Business School bring me as a member of the board of their trustees. So part of what you do can be a passion that will lead you to do what you need to do when you retire. And let me shock you. Let me shock you. With all humility, I never thought that public speaking could give me so much edge. I spoke to a group of people, 2 sections, day 1, day 2. In my wildest imagination, I never knew that I could do public speaking for just 1.5 hours and case study for 30 minutes, day 1. The same for day 2. And the alert that I saw, I was shocked. 5 million speaking for 2 days. Haba, what will stop me from reading further? Don't you like that kind of retirement? So what you did before can open doors for you. It can lead to something that you can do better. Hello? It could be your passion. It could be your profession. Some of you are accountants, engineers. Sure, you can do something much, much better. Okay? Some of you have very deep passions that you have not called, you have not put things in perspective. all of you that are have professional backgrounds, you already have where to fall to, except you have something stronger. But let me tell you something. For you to succeed in entrepreneurship, you must deliver value. And that value has to be commercialized. So it's not every passion that can become business. It's not every hobby that can become business. It's not every business idea that is really business. So take note of that. This is the face of the man who designed his retirement. So in the morning, he's taking his coffee and he's reading the papers and he's getting updated and he's happy. And I tell you, at this level, there will be a disagreement at home with his wife. You know why? There will be a disagreement who goes for Mogo. Because the man is simply excited. He wants to show his excitement to his grandchildren. Not so? Just like me now. I'm preparing to go for Mogo so my wife can take some leave. Retirees have freedom to choose how to spend their time. While some people want to relax after a lengthy and straight career, others are ready to move on to the next adventure. Many people will cycle through periods of leisure and value creation at various points in their retirement. Some people really want straight leisure. I go walking myself. But some people can't stay idle. Hello. I get hot blood. I no go fit. I can't be a traditional ruler. I can't be a chief. I go continue hustle. Hello. Because it keeps me awake. If I stay idle, something might happen to me. But everybody is not wired that way. Some retirees want to work on their own terms, follow their passion, and set their own schedules. It can be fairly easy to start a business, particularly one that requires no office space. Most businesses these days, they don't have office space, so they have no problem with Obi Akpo and Port Harcourt Akpo. Okay? Or retail location. However, this is not for everyone. To make it work, you need to have the right idea at the right time, right place, and the right skill to get your product or to get your service to buyers. Some people may discover that pursuing their passion doesn't fit into their traditional for-profit model. For those people, starting or joining a non-profit or using their talents either as volunteer or paid contribution to non-profit will suffice. Some will fill the gap between business and profit. Okay, that is both revenue generation, generating value as well as social value. Social value can start an NGO. You can stand for a cause to better humanity. I'll get to the retirement scenarios. Everyone has different vision of something they want to retire to. Okay? Some prefer less active lifestyles. Others prefer a blend of business and leisure. While others want to start something challenging and something entirely new. Okay? What I'm doing right now, taking myself as an example, what I'm doing right now is not entirely new. Hello? It's not entirely new. But by the privilege of being the president of the Institute of Strategic Management Nigeria Chartered, it has given me a new platform. Hello? A new platform. The way I am celebrated in Abuja, it has given me a totally new fora that I need to upgrade myself to explore. I don't know whether you get a picture of what I'm saying. Something can take you to some level, and at that level, you are seeing further that you need to do some things. As a matter of fact, I need to, because I can't go back to school for a longer degree, okay? I need to go back to school for some kind of short certification and courses. I need to upskill myself so that I don't go fall hand. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. If you don't keep improving, what you know as at yesterday, what you know as at this morning will be insufficient to carry you at the level that life will take you. And you know something? Crisis will never stop coming, Adversity will never stop coming. But your ability to see opportunity in those crises and adversity is what will keep you ahead of the game. Right? Okay. Number one scenario, Amina is a purchasing and supply executive. Amina is 55, like some of us in this hall. Amina is married to a serving senator. Amina is involved in charities. She's involved in NGOs. Amina has investments in lock-up shops. She has a liking for commercial property. Because she works somewhere, she don't want stress. So her investment is in this kind of places where assets that doesn't need too much supervision. There's a lot for you to learn from the scenarios. Amina's retirement benefit is going to be 100 million when she leaves. So, but what is not clear here is whether Amina will be paid before she leaves like oil companies, or Amina will be paid when she becomes very frustrated like NDDC. Well, NDDC is even better than state. Okay. Because mainstream. Which one is not mainstream? My wife retired from JAM. If not that we have something going on, if not that she has a husband, she would have died if she was depending on government to pay. Don't wait and have such experience. So it's not only NDDC. Everything government is failing. The last person not to fail is you and I. So if you wait until they frustrate you, you wait for too long. She plans to venture into clothing franchise. She likes fashion. She likes beauty. She likes this kind of business. So look at what she is planning to do. A clothing line business. That's example number one. Number two is a professional person, just like a lawyer, just like a doctor, just like an engineer, an architect, whatever you are, an estate personnel. Professor Chinwe is a professor of medicine. She's age 60. She's a grandmother. She's a widow and a grandmother. She's a visiting professor to 2 universities. She has residential property investment in Lekki, in Lagos, and Maitama, Abuja. Professor Chinwe has investment in shares. She's enlightened. Person went school abroad, so she puts her money in shares. Her retirement benefits, since she's retiring from government establishment, her retirement benefits about 100 million. She plans to retire into consulting and leisure. Check her out now. She's by the beach. She's having fun. She's on holidays. She's a professional, a specialist doctor. Probably the hospitals will call her only when they have a very strong case. And in most cases, if the patient and the family doesn't drop 300K, 500K, she wouldn't be there. The hospital, the private hospital won't even call her. If it's a government hospital, you probably will have to do so much before they will call for her expertise. Some of us are like that. You've got a professional background that you can tap into by your training, by your expertise. But some of us don't have any specific professional background. My first degree is in literary studies. My postgraduate is in industrial psychology and personnel management. It wasn't HRO. Those days, not personnel management. Hello? I got to do strategic management by force because by love, by character, by what I do, I'm a strategist already. So I got into it, and then I specialize in performance management. Just get it done. No excuses. Hello? So if you want something to work, you want your business to work, and you're ready to pay, I have ears to listen. I will help you. Number 3, Biondo and Bola. Biondo is of the High Court. He's age 60. You know that the judges and military officers, when they retire at that hierarchy, they are given 2 bodyguards, policemen, or army, or whatever. They are giving 2 recruits. They are giving gardener. They are giving driver. You know that? So these are the proper government picking. But our kind of public service, we do not have such. Even those who were MDs, the moment they retire, they cannot keep those retinue of policemen. You and I will know now. No. We worked with, officers at that hierarchy. But the moment they retire, all those paraphernalia of aids are gone. Hello. This man is Chief Dokubo, the GM Finance of NNPC. So the scenario, our example now, is someone that worked in the oil sector. He's aged 59, is married with 6 children, he's a community leader. He's engaged in charity and philanthropy. The guy just is a donatus. He's very liberal. Okay? Now, he has commercial properties in Lagos, in Abuja, and this same Port Harcourt. He has limited investment in stocks. He's not someone that likes so much of stocks, shares. Okay? But he has few in very blue chip organizations. His expected retirement benefit is 200 million. I just reduced it so that it will not be too fantastic, but they get more than this. Right? He plans to retire into full-blown business and politics. I have shared 4 with you. What I did not share with you is when I got back into the commission, or when I got into the commission as manager. Don't forget, I was feeling very frustrated that I was, not given the opportunity of where I passed. That's number 1. Number 2, I was coming from a background of a business failure. Hello? Number 3 is that I was also getting on with a very strong passion, okay, and preparation to start preparing for my retirement, to prepare to exit. Because my background has always been in entrepreneurship. I never planned to work anywhere. I've always employed corpers myself. So moving now to public service, I prepared from day 1. I was going to get prepared for my exit. Now, what did I do? Before I illustrate further, I am very familiar with how good it is to work in the commission. Of course, I had the opportunity of working with a couple of persons who we had a good team. We were friends that worked, in departments or wherever I found myself. I had that favor to work with people you would call the extended family, not just friends, right? The first payment for housing, I took that first payment for housing as my seed capital to start preparation for exit. Of course, before I got to the position where I had to enter first housing, where we used to call Alaibe, I had started again to build my passion I had recovered. And I began to build back my passion in business. I had the opportunity through Rotimi Amechi to supply cars to incoming commissioners of that regime. And so I had the opportunity of having 4 cars. And the cars that I had, I used them to start rent-a-car business. And I had a rent-a-car shop at Le Méridien. I also had at Juanita Hotels, right? That was because I was privileged to be part of the group that supplied cars to River State government. That is number one. Number two was that I also had an opportunity while doing car hire business at Le Méridien. A day broke that I think we went there to celebrate my wife's 40th birthday or something. And the general manager was so angry with the staff, the housekeeping staff. Very, very angry, very upset. What happened? What happened was that Orara Dry Cleaners, which was owned by Ukpo, late Ukpo, and Ukpo was the chairman of Le Méridien. Orara did not launder the linens of the hotel. The hotel was expecting about 40 National Assembly members. Okay? 40 National Assembly members. So the general manager in Pakistan was very upset and angry. He was looking frustrated. As a matter of fact, I just bumped on him. What happened? And he just held back his anger and told me the story. You know something? The problem was that his frustration will be he's not going to be able to sell 40 rooms, and in 48 hours, National Assembly people were coming there. So I told him, is that all? He said, yes. I said, I will help you. He said, how? Do you have a laundry? I said, I will help you. We talked. I parked my car. I was going to ride bicycle. We went to celebrate my wife's 40th birthday. We slept overnight. It's in the morning that I'm hearing this. I will help you open my car. They packed all their bed linens, curtains and all of that. The first batch put into my boot. I drove off to another laundry. I paid them express. I gave them all the sweet talk that they could do. I asked them, do this. I'm delivering this thing 6 a.m. This is the way you pack it. I walked with them overnight. We finished, we packed them. We packed them, I loaded, I returned to Le Méridien 7:30 a.m. I delivered that for 2 days. After 2 days, I asked him, I need a job order. I can't just be doing this for you. And they gave me retainership for 2 years. With that retainership, I wouldn't be going to a laundry just like that. I needed to do something. So I tried to find where I could lease. When I found where I could lease, we were still talking here and there. I was going to a money lender and all of that. When they paid Alaibe, hello? I took it. I was to lease that place for 18 million. I had less than 10 million. When they paid Alaibe, I had it. Right? It will shock you that I borrowed from a colleague, a friend who is in this room, Rose Wariboko. I borrowed her Alaibe, added to mine, and I went to lease a laundry. That's the beginning of Wash Express. Clap for her. So I deposited 18 million. I took from money lender 4 million. That's because I had a retainership for 2 years. Hello? After that period, we're just going. It was difficult to take money from anywhere because I was owing to my teeth. But everything we got from it, we plowed back. These people, after 2 weeks, they got out of the tragedy. Orara had resumed after repairing their machines. So it became competition. But I was always seen as Mr. Fix-It. When I promise, I'd get it done. So it went to a point that some bad belly began to come. It was difficult now because some other person had to supervise the transactions. I was on the protocol team now. I had left EDP's office. I was in HRO. Protocol, it means going to the airport and all of that, what you're doing now. So I had flexibility of time, but I couldn't handle it anymore. We needed a base. I went to get a place. Kids' World or Children's World used to be where you find Wash Express at Woji Road. They moved out. Yeah, Young World. That road was not a thoroughfare to Genesis. But we saw that place and we went. I spoke to the landlord. I got another money lender and paid. Prepared the reception. When you enter, you will know that these people have started business. But behind, no machine. Not a single machine at that time. Hello? I am telling you how it is. That's my witness. Rose Warewoko is my witness. What I'm telling you is about 14 years back, 15 years back. Yes. So gradually, that's how from that retainership, from Le Méridien, we entered there. It was Protea then. We had 2 hotels. From Protea, it was Novotel. I had to bring out a signboard and an advertisement. The best hotels in Port Harcourt have one thing in common: Wash Express. We're staying 3 buildings to Prime Wash, the best, the biggest laundry in Port Harcourt, and now the biggest in Nigeria. They thought we would die. They didn't know that we're not depending on commercial laundry. We're doing industrial laundry. So, it doesn't matter how much you earn. What matters is, what are you thinking you want to do? There's always a way. Come pay me, I'll teach you. Retirement is when you stop living at work. Your spouse will call you, I stayed the office, so now what? You're living at work. Hello? When you begin to work on your living is when you have the time. You can schedule your time. As long as time happens to you, you are working. If you're working on your time, then you are living. There are certain basic things you will check to prepare you for retirement. Certain basic still. Number 1 is that you have to check through your assets and your liabilities. Because when you retire, there are certain things that you will not get NDDC to carry for you. You cannot go to cry. When you cry to the management, they will be looking at the current people. They will be pitying you that have already retired. You can only get that favor while you're still working. They will think of what role you play, what value you bring. So they will help you. The system will help you. But when you are out of seat, go and ask. Okay, go and verify. But don't wait to verify. Number 1, you think of your land and building. Your properties. Are they commercial? Are they bankable? If you have 2 houses and they are just luxury houses, they are not so described as assets. Hello? If you have 2 cars and one is very functional, the other one is what they call status car, you will service it when you will service it. You will still buy parts to change. It is probably a liability. When I realized this, I had 4 cars. I had to start rent-a-car business. Because I loved cars. And I thought, how do I convert this to assets? So you can think you have a house, it's not doing anything, rent it out. Your shares, your bonds, your securities, they are assets. Your fixed deposit, they are assets. Your cash, others, they are assets. Your goodwill, the goodwill you have, your social capital, you belong to certain platforms. You belong to certain professional bodies. You belong to certain group. It may be a church. Your network can be converted to capital. But if you mess it up, it also messes you. Your industry experience, Your experience as an accountant, your experience as an auditor, your experience as an estate person, your experience as a lawyer, your experience as architect, your experience as an engineer. But please take note. Your experience, your industry experience as working for public sector organization may not be the same when you move over to private sector. Hello? Then you balance it up with liabilities. Some of us still have mortgages. Maybe you build a commercial property. Yes, you need to give it out so you can pay the mortgages. But if it's the property where you live, you still pay mortgage. You look at it. It will come from your pocket. So you prepare ahead and know what you will be up against when you retire. Loans and advances. Very important. Very, very important. As long as you work for NDDC, the banks will pet you, they will give you loans. But be sure where you are applying those loans. Hello? Let me give you another idea. Stanbic Bank didn't pay me for it. I spoke to my account officer to speak to her regional manager that because my salary goes to Stanbic, my pension goes to Stanbic, I need to buy a house and I need you to package it such that my pension will stand as guarantee for this loan. I was the first person who carved out that stuff, and from it they made it a package and other banks copied from them. They didn't give me credit and I paid all the loans. It was my idea that made Stanbic Bank start that facility and other banks copied Stanbic Bank. It was my idea. They never paid me for it. But of course, I used it to buy a house. One of the properties where Wash Express is, that's where it is. So when they say pay pension, you see, when I retired, almost 2 years now, and you know that bulk one that they give you, when they brought it, they asked me, how much do you want us to apply to your loan, your mortgage or whatever? I say, take everything. So they took everything and it paid off. So as you see me, yes, I gained it from the application of the loan. If you take a loan to marry the next wife or to marry the next husband, you will still pay. If you take a loan, probably to send your children to school abroad, just know that you will still pay. It's a good one. It's an investment in the future. You will still pay. So that's the reason for loans and advances. So when you prepare for retirement, try as much as possible to reduce the stress that will be on your money by the time you are retiring. Fees and rents, of course, for those of us who gave birth at old age, you retire, you still have a baby at a primary school, you'll still be doing school runs. And you definitely will pay fees. Medical bills. Not all of your bills may be paid by the commission. Hello? If you've got medical condition, you just have to brace up and manage it. Some persons, when medicals are paid, they go spend 1 week at Presidential Hotel. Or they just find something to do for themselves without going for medical. When the trouble comes, nobody will carry it for you. Hello. Other liabilities. I told you that I borrowed money from money lender. It is because the business had to pay all of that off. And I paid my friend off. Even after that period, I borrowed another one, isn't it? So when they read my profile and it looks like, this is just a made man. Not everything is like you see it. Okay? Not everything they talk. Do you understand? All right. Number 2 that you have to check, what happened to the left side? The income streams talk about your salaries. Your salaries and otherwise income. Your salaries right now, when you look at your salaries right now, and you look at your expenditure pattern. By the time you retire, will you be able to carry that weight? Some of us retire, but we're still carrying the weight of what the expenses had been like when we were in full employment. Some of us are shy. You don't want to tell your relations, you don't want to tell your extended family that you're retired. You will kill yourself, you will die early. They will survive you. Tell them you're retired. Tell them you're retired. Some pressures that come on us are not directly our own pressures. They are extended family pressures. You've been carrying them as it is right now. When you retire, you will be incapacitated. The truth is, as a staff of the commission, you should be grateful to God. But when you mismanage the opportunities, fire will burn you. Income stream, your property, where you get rent, profit from investment, dividends, any other income. Whatever else you do that brings extra income to you, do not burn it away. Money is like fuel. And not ordinary fuel. Gas. Shh. You know when your gas bottle is leaking? Some of us don't even know how our money is leak. Expenditure pattern, your rates, the taxes you pay, your club membership, your donation to community support. Well, you see, tithe is about faith. But you see, August meeting, you see that your group meeting, by the time you retire, they will be expecting the same level of contribution. Meanwhile, level don't change. Maintenance cost. You know, I had driver for my wife. I had a driver when I was in service. I had battery of dependents. But when I retired, before I retired, I tried very much to empower the people around me. And I kept telling them, I dey retire. I dey retire. I dey retire. The moment I retired, God helped me. The closest person to me who was driving me got a job. And so I didn't replace. Because anytime I needed help, that person helps me. Hello. Hello. I will become cold. I'll not be NDDC. And besides, NDDC never pay me. You whether they pay, cheer up. There's hope. If there's hope, please clap for yourselves. Am I scaring you? Listen, this is the cocoa, whether you like it or not. It's like death. Whether you accept it or not, one day we will die. The next thing to consider, your hobbies and your health status. Before you retire, check to cut your cloth according to how you will fit use them. Not be your size. If the thing no go reach for up and down, if you no go reach for boo-boo, make it do only top. Hobbies, your clubs, your societies, your philanthropic group, recreation. I belong to polo. I belong to this. Yes, this guy read my profile. I was chairman for Cycling Association for 10 years. Do you know why they left me as chairman for 10 years? 3 reasons. Number 1 is we were always winning laurels. Number 2 is that wherever I belong, I try to put my best. So we were always, myself and other board members, were sustaining activities, arranging championships that were sharpening the skill of the athletes. So we became champions. We became 5th the first year. The second year of my tenure, we were 5th in Nigeria, River State was fifth in Nigeria. The second year of my tenure, we became third in Nigeria. The third year of my tenure, we became the best in Nigeria. The fourth year, we became the third in Africa. The fifth year, we went to Tour de France from River State. So anytime Nigeria had a cycling championship, they will ask from River State. Hello. So, the moment things were happening, nobody wanted to rock the boat because I was always putting money there. Hello? Athletes, championship, and all of that. When I was nearing retirement, when they reappointed me, governor is looking for you, commissioner of sports. Hello? Go and verify. The current EDFA, for the commission right now, was the commissioner that I served with. If you may not mention my name, just mention Enebeli cycling chairman. You go say, ah! That man made him shine. It was because I was still in service. So I could have one or two things to throw into the athletes for their practice and for us to buy bike. I still have a bike I bought 5 years ago, 1.5 million. Right now, I won't try that shit. Hello? There's a championship bike that is about 5 million as at 1 year ago. Right now, I don't think anybody will try that shit except his government. Hello? So there are hobbies that you have, whether an Apollo or an Apolio, you go clear once you retire. Health status, your age. If you like, you swap with David. You told a lie to retain your job. You will still die when you will die. Hello? So your age, some people are young, but they have medical conditions that are beyond their ages. So you think, these are the things you have to check. Any disabilities, any serious ailment or medical condition, allergies. If you are not up and doing managing the medical condition, there's nothing that is too bad. But it is only when you pretend or you want to look away like some people don't want to think about retirement. They will definitely retire. If you don't want to think that you have a medical condition to manage, it's like fire. You manage fire very well, it cooks your meal. But when you don't manage it, fire will burn you, or burn your house at least. All right. Before we go into this, I need us to look at a case study. After that case study, we can even end it. You will just know what to do. So far, it looks like I've shocked a lot of you. But after the case study, you can prepare your retirement plan. So let's go to the case study. Please take note. This is where you indeed will write your retirement, begin to write your retirement plan. Chief Dokubo is 59 years old, has risen to the position of General Manager Finance at NNPC, and will retire by August 2024, a few months from now. Chief Dokubo is very dedicated to his well-paid job. Being a bit skeptical of shares, he limits his stakes to blue-chip companies only, with landed properties in Port Harcourt, in Lagos, and Abuja. He has always desired to float an oil service company, knowing that with his goodwill and widespread network of relationships, he will be able to get a bite in the large market, not yet captured under the local content policy. Several years ago, Chief Dokubo had assisted a young man, his name is Frank, to gain employment at Gulf Ocean. Frank is now the assistant operations manager. Chief had long told Frank that he will take him along with him when he retires from NNPC to start his new venture. Although many people do not know it, Chief Dokubo had played a very vital role in the electoral victory of the ruling party, whose office is headquartered in his Abuja property, and was given the slot to nominate Minister of State, Petroleum Resources. This had also boosted Chief Dokubo's hope in getting contracts in the oil and gas sector when he retires and ready to set up his company. NNPC provides total health care packages for top management staff and their spouses, just like the commission. Recently, Chief has been stoically handling the news of his distressed kidney, in addition to the high blood pressure, which he had lived with for the past 10 years. On retirement, NNPC will cease to foot a part of the medical bills of Chief Dokubo and his wife, Mrs. Dokubo. Mrs. Dokubo had been diabetic. With over 200 million in retirement benefit and 4 cars to go with, Chief intends to commence business with Engineer Frank as operations director, though Engineer Frank will not be in the CAC documents. Chief Dokubo believes that not many Nigerians own oil servicing companies and not many Nigerians exploit the local content law. As a public-spirited individual, Chief Dokubo hopes to engage at least 30 workers, mainly from his locality, as a way of shoring up his credentials for aspiration to the traditional stool. Chief Dokubo is also the district president of Rotary Club and chairman of his church council. While Chief Dokubo will hold the position of managing director, the wife will be executive director, admin and finance, while his elder son, Kari, will be manager logistics. It is hoped that Belema, who is studying geophysics in Canada, will join the company later. As part of preparation for the takeoff of his proposed business, Chief Dokubo and his wife attended a 1-week workshop in Aberdeen on running successful businesses. Take note, he attended workshop in Aberdeen. Aberdeen is in the UK. Running successful businesses. Just like some people, you think that you just wait until it's about retirement that you begin to go for retirement or pre-retirement preparation and all of that. The commission, as a matter of fact, should do better by sending people 5 years before the period. As a matter of fact, what I do for Lagos Business School handles such contracts for Ajip, Total, LNG. Because I teach on those classes, these people they will fix you with your spouse on that class. You are the man or you are the woman who is the staff of LNG or the staff of Ajip or Total. But they will make you and your spouse come. They will keep you in a hotel for 1 week. That's the first section. The next year, another 1 week, you and your wife. Every year for 5 years. So after the first 3 years, you are mentored on the area of business or what activity you want to do. So it's a gradual understanding. And your spouse sees what you're seeing. You know, some of us, you are seeing something different. Your spouse does not understand. Your relations from your spouse's end will never understand because your spouse has to first understand. Hello? Waiting not be Panadol. It no fit be like Panadol. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. And also attended a few business workshops in Europe and America from where he has extracted their business models for his company in the hope that his political connections will help him take care of the local business dynamics. Chief has also had extensive discussion with Engineer Jerry, who was facility manager at NNPC. On retirement, Engineer Jerry opened his own business, machine shop in Warri. Discussion. This is the assignment. This is where, once you are able to analyze the Chief Dokubo's chances of proper retirement, you have started work on your own. It says, critically assess Chief Dokubo's level of preparedness for successful transition from pre-retirement to retirement. Number one, in view of adopted business model, discuss the sustainability of his incoming business. Number two, what red flags do you think have been overlooked in his preparation? Number three, after getting to know Chief Dokubo and his goals, objectives, and risk tolerance, propose a realistic retirement plan for him. Design a retirement plan for Chief Dokubo. As you do so, you will start designing your own. Bakam. We're discussing now. I don't believe in pontificating. I don't believe in charging people here and there. I believe in helping you to get it done. So many of the consultants you know, they will write feasibility studies for you, which they copied from other people. So many business consultants have not failed. So they will tell you everything will work out well, perfectly. Yes, 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 yes. But I tell you I've failed, and I'll tell you where you should avoid. Besides, it's not every business consultant or facilitator that is a retired person. I retired from the same institution. Ask me a question. So look at it. Let's start. Should I conclude? Is it? No, let's don't do group. Let us bring the microphone. Let people talk from whatever they see. Give me water. If they want me to stop, I stop. I still have loaded things to tell them. They are my colleagues. I'm not charging for this. Hello. I'm not charging you. Just ask any question. Consult for free. Otherwise, you will pay flights to Abuja, my new office, to meet me.
I'm concerned. When he was preparing for his retirement, and he mentioned to Engineer Frank that would be his operations director, did he put him through any of the business training that
Number one,
to prepare him?
You tried. Number one.
I haven't finished.
Okay. He did not put him.
Yeah. Then, two.
He just assumed, yes. And because he helped Engineer Frank before, he's thinking that Engineer Frank will run with him.
That too. Then when he was going for the training with his wife, when he was going for the training with his wife, knowing that two of them have health challenges.
One house, please. One house, please. Go ahead.
He didn't make provision for even his son to go through similar training. Because we always assume that our children will just take over our businesses. I find a lot of stories of where parents have died and the children just sell off all their assets.
Of course. Even the design of our present houses, your children can come up and say, what did mommy and daddy do? Let's sell it off.
Exactly. And then I don't know why he neglected the local content of expecting other things to take care of that, the local business dynamics.
Sorry, I thought someone was bringing water for me.
So that's it.
Okay.
I don't know why he ignored the local business dynamics. He should have walked along, adopting some of those things. As he was learning abroad, he was also learn things within the country too.
Thank you very much. You see, number one, he assumes that because he helped Frank earlier in life, Frank owes him, and Frank must necessarily follow him. He has not communicated his vision and to allow Frank to buy in. You're very correct. So, if you plan, don't because you helped your relation, your friend, or anyone and think that automatically they will follow you. Number two, he had gone for business workshop training with his wife. He did not train his children. Like Madam said, it's an assumption that the children will come on because he feels that with him, experienced guy, and his wife, who will be ED Finance, that, nothing will go wrong. Don't always assume. And finally, something you didn't say, madam, but it's in what you have just highlighted. He went to Aberdeen. He went to America for business workshops to copy their model to Niger. You see, this terrain is very unique. This terrain is very unique. Very, very unique. What works there, part of the reason why that place thrives is because it's easy to raise finance for your Osusu Ministry. Right here, you will cough it out. There, you can buy a house. What you pay as rent over 20 years is the installment or mortgage for the house. Here, you must sweat it out and do everything by yourself. Hello? So, you see, anyone who survives in Nigeria will thrive in America if you apply yourself well. So he has gone to borrow models strange to our country. As a matter of fact, I felt like right pawpaw, but his own. There will be no pawpaw at all. You know, when pawpaw falls, you pick some pieces. His own, they probably won't pick any pieces. Next, who is speaking? What else have you seen? Yes, my brother. Give him the microphone.
Another mistake I can see here, he hopes to engage at least 30 workers, mainly from his community, locality. That is sentimentality and it could kill.
Very good. Very, very good. Please take note. When you plan business, don't plan the business that you must employ, or the business will be dependent on your family member. Your family member may not have the capacity or the capability to deliver that business. Number two, don't plan the business because Chief Dokubo has political ambition. He believes by employing 30 youths, probably they will help him carry ballot box. Or he's planning so he will get their votes. He has not succeeded in the business, but he's already gained overload to the business. So, is that clear? As you plan clearly. Yes, you want to say something? Please, can we have the microphone?
What I noticed here is the man is starting a little bit late. That's the first thing.
Very good.
He's 59 years young.
Very, very good.
August.
Just hold on before you go ahead. That's the first thing. He's starting late. So I don't know where you are in terms of age. I don't know where you are in terms of service. Whatever it is, if you haven't started, when you leave today, begin to put things down. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's my observation.
You don't start at the period of exit. You don't start when you are about to exit. You will be like the picture I showed first. You will be like that man that is filled with anxiety. Yes, madam, my money lender.
Okay. Okay, I also noticed that Chief had so much hope that he will get contracts from the government. Just
Exactly. Exactly.
to their
Thank you very much. Now listen, my friends. If you think because you work in the commission and therefore, those my boys, those my girls, then go find me something. Anyhow, they go find me one contract. Just leave. When you leave, come and tell me whether I worked out like that. Different regime, different game. So don't depend on the fact that you worked so hard, you were so important, you were so loved in the commission that you will get patronized. You'll be shocked. Yes.
I think that Chief wanted to start big for something that he doesn't have any experience in. I think that it's a big risk for him to start big. Invest so much. Invest from what we have read. He's investing a lot. Someone who is intending to employ 30 people, he doesn't have any experience, even though he has worked in an oil company, but running the show yourself is a different ball game altogether. I think that he's starting big, and that's a big risk.
Very good. Very, very good. So you see, from what you all are contributing now, you already are doing what you're supposed to do. You are sensitizing yourself that, look, it's not the same out there. You have to critically look at your preparedness. If anything happens now to the commission, God forbid, what happened to Umpadek happens to commission now. You don't be among the casualty. Don't be among the casualty. Don't. You have opportunities now that you can use. Don't wait until you are 59. August, that's when Chief will leave service. It's now that he's preparing. Hello. Hi. You'd be like, see. You'd be like, say they cause trouble. Oh. You know something? I tell you something. You're reflecting. Okay, yes. I tell you something. Please take note. Chief Dokubo, 59, going to retire in August, is just about to prepare for his retirement. Wash Express. I started Wash Express 14 years ago. I started preparing for retirement 14 years ago. Hello? It's not about how much you earn. It's not about how convenient it is, because when you are out of office, you will suffer the most degrading inconvenience. Has it occurred to you that you want to buy something of 100 naira and only 1 naira will not complete inside? You have to go here and there to look for an extra 1 naira. You've never been in such an embarrassing situation. And on top of it, someone around is even begging you for 5 naira. You are looking for 1 naira. So this person doesn't understand how it feels. But the person has the mind that, look, why are you being wicked? Don't let that happen to you. Say what? Should I continue? All right. Okay.
Chief has health challenges that requires money. He also is aspiring to be a traditional ruler and also district president of Rotary Club. All of us know that all these things need much money.
Thank you very much. Chief is 59. Chief has got a medical condition. Chief has also got a very big ambition. He wants to be president of Rotary Club. He's chairman of his church council. Chief wants to start an oil and gas company. Chief wants to be, I don't know whether he's governor or whatever. Traditional ruler. So Chief at retirement is attracting so much pressure upon himself. When you approach retirement, don't put so much pressure on yourself. And like the slide I showed you earlier, what is your health status? It's not how young. The man who taught before I came, he showed us some radical truths. It's not how long, it's not how young. After all, day-old babies die. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I would like to digress from this case study.
Go ahead.
Because you said in your opening speech that you have been retired for 2 years now. We want to ask you kindly to tell us your experiences in this aspect. We know that you retired as a director in procurement. Now, what is the place and the role of your pension policy or your pension money that was given to you? And though you have not been paid on your severe benefits, what do you think we can do? Because we've been talking about pre-retirement. Let's talk about retirement now. We want to ask you to advise, because I just got the news that some of the ATS director got their retirement benefit.
Yeah, the people are retired before them. They paid them yesterday.
Yes.
And yet they paid.
So, sir, pension. What plans do you think? Because we're all going to retire and we're going to get our pension. And we know that.
One house, please. I didn't say you should cry for me. Your own cry has not reached, so don't bother about your own yet.
So we would like to tap from your experiences being retired for 2 years now.
What? Make it clearer.
Okay, let me start from the pension.
Okay.
We know there's a particular amount that is called a withdrawal, and there's the one that you will be paid monthly. What procedure did you use? Because we got to know that most of the people that got their pension remove their money from the IPTC and start doing annuity.
You see, what I can tell you is this. Ever since I failed repeatedly several years back, I am careful what I do. I focus on one thing, make it work before I jump to another. I try to understand it. Focus. Follow one course until successful. I follow one thing and I make sure it succeeds before I extend my hand. When the people, these pension people, insurance people and all of that were marketing me, they came late. You know why they came late? Because I already marketed my account officer and I told her and sold the idea that you people can package a mortgage facility from my pension. Give to me, I want to buy the house that is housing my wash express. They did so, I focused on that and it worked. After that period, everybody that came for annuity or whatever, up to 12 of them came several times marketing me. I don't have experience, so I can't tell you well. What I'm telling you is what I have experienced. I saw an opportunity. I sold to the bank. You keep my pension, Stanbic pension, Stanbic salary, and everything. We calculated it, and they gave me 50% of it. So when NDDC paid when Stanbic paid that pension, they removed their money. It was remaining some balance. I brought the balance and paid off. So I no longer owe anybody. I don't have experience about the annuity or whatever. I can't tell you what I don't know. Because I didn't go down on that. The people were coming, it was going like this because I've already chopped my money ahead. The property has appreciated now. So I don't have the detail of how to tell you about annuity and this and that. But I am told that it's much better. But because I'm a trader, I know the value of money. I don't have savings. I don't know how to keep savings. If I want to travel now, I will have to milk the cow that is called business to milk the ticket for me, and then I have to go. I don't have savings, but not many persons will survive without savings. But annuity and all of that, I think is a better package from how they sold it. But I've already chopped my money. I've invested it and I've taken it ahead, and the value is what I rejoice about. So I'm not looking for cash. I'm looking for investment. I'm a trader who sees value in what will come after. Perhaps annuity gives you more cash. I don't know. I don't know how to manage cash, so I wasn't attracted to that.
Thank you, sir. Last question is, what was your fear?
Frankly speaking, I was excited to go into retirement. If you prepared 14 years, 15 years before your retirement, I was excited to go into retirement. Hi, folks. Let me tell you something. I retired almost 2 years ago. As I speak with you, check it out. Denzel Washington said, the spirit in me irritates the demon in them. I retired almost 2 years ago. National Assembly is looking for current director of procurement. They are still putting my name there. The fragrance of my perfume, still they worry them. They've not recovered. That is it. This morning, Arise News is trying to promote me. They put my name. I'm not your director of procurement. They are looking for director of procurement. They are still putting my name. Several years ago, I left training school. And they said training school left with me. Not be so. Qu'est-ce que ça bicon? So, what I'm trying to tell you is this. I have peace of mind. I pick all my calls. Ask my colleagues when I was in procurement. There are times I don't pick call. From 7 in the morning to about 12:01, I don't pick calls so I could walk. But now I pick all the calls. If it were before, I would be scared. I would be looking for who to call and all of that. I'm not worried. I'm not bothered. Maybe they have not realized their error. Maybe there's a bigger announcement for me that they are preparing me for. But whatever it is, I can sue them. Someone sent me a message, you can sue them for 5 billion. Listen, the thing is that I don't want to bother myself about what I don't have control over. Okay? I don't know. The thing is simple. What I know about National Assembly, you can go and tell them. One committee or the other will chop from the commission. They will go and badmouth. Hey, we never go collect on our own. Call those people, someone, then they will give on. Maybe that committee has just gone to badmouth the commission, and then they are writing that nonsense. I'm not bothered. I have been happier since I left the commission. The only thing I regret is the free money. Hello? Because at that time, when I traveled, my DTA, at least I'm expecting it. You know, when you are spending and you are expecting a replacement, it helps you to spend more. That's what I miss. Another thing I miss is that every quarter, there's either education, there's housing, there's furniture, there's medical. I miss those ones. I won't lie to you. Okay? I miss my friends. I miss that walk. But I'm enjoying a better walk now. At my pace. At that time, I couldn't, if you say, next tomorrow, we have to do this, I'll say, I have a boss. I don't know. Let's talk by tomorrow so that I'll be sure that next tomorrow I'll be available. But you ask me now, I'll tell you directly if I'll be available next tomorrow. So I enjoy that. Freedom of my time. But I miss the money anyway. Like I told you, my profile is getting better, bigger. I told you I spoke just 2 days and I was paid 5 million. Look at it now. If I get such opportunity every month, it will cover the housing that I didn't get. So, small, I don't think get better. Did I do badly? You know, I was at officers' merge at this thing, and after the coaching and all of that, they said, why move to another hotel? Our suites here, don't you like them? I said, I like them. Stay for 1 week. That's the kind of thing I enjoy these days. I am proper government picking now. That time, I wasn't a government picking. I was a government servant. I was so happy to leave, even though I missed the money. Prepare to leave without missing the place.
Okay, so I have my own question I want to ask. If you notice, why is the class so quiet and all that? Because for some persons that, because of the law that says the only business that a civil servant can venture into is agric. And there are some persons that cannot touch fish and they cannot touch chicken. Even to carry the hose, they are finding it difficult. What advice now do you have for those people? In fact, somebody like me now, to touch chicken, live chicken, a problem. So, what advice do you have for me? Then I want to make comment on what my colleague said about the annuity. Annuity plan is better than the programmed withdrawal.
That's what I'm told.
The difference is that one of them, when you die, your beneficiary cannot benefit from it. Cannot benefit. That's for program annuity. When you die, you go with it. But for that other one, it can be transferred to your children. Yes, that's for the annuity. There's programmed annuity, then the other annuity that stays forever and ever. Then another thing I also want to tell us is that if you are on Stanbic pension or any pension plan, there's what they call tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5. For those of us that are younger, try to be on tier 1. It gives more return than the other tiers. Most of us don't know, but I'm telling you now, you can move to it on your app. But once you clock 50, the system will program you, but then try to follow up so that it does not bring you down to where you don't get much return. Once you clock 50, it will, if you are that tier 1, it will program itself. So, but then you too have to reprogram it to be maybe on 2 or tier 2 or 3. But if you're on tier 1, you get more returns. And then that balance that you see, I'm talking of those in Stanbic, is not your real balance. So you can always ask for your balance from your account officer so that you will see how your income grew over the years. Thank you.
Sorry, your first question is about
Said,
what you can do? Or?
What we can do? What else can we do? Because
Okay,
some persons are on crossroads.
Okay,
they really want to prepare for it.
Yeah,
What
let me help you here from my experience. You know, the code of conduct stuff. There are certain things you can't do. It was when I got successful fixing wash express, okay, that I agreed with my wife to retire early. So my wife runs the business as a CEO. My name is not there. You understand? Because it's not agri or farm-related business. You understand? So my wife is my managing director, not damaging director, managing director. So when I retired, the thing hungry me to be managing director. But I fear, say, if I change up, why hell I go there? You know? So that's the way it is. So I continue to be chairman. She's the managing director. There are businesses that you can get started. And then you can by way of recognition and patronage, if you find someone very competent in that business, give them a recognition and a patronage, either by way of salary, okay, or by way of partnership, something that will give the person hope, give the person some level of ownership, okay? But it's not in all cases. I had to sack my brother-in-law, okay, because my brother-in-law stole. If you give your business or you give the opportunity to a relation because the person is close to you, the person may chop you die. And if you're not able to discipline that relation, others will watch and they will do the same. You understand? So you balance it. I'm telling you from my experience. My late mother, we disagreed as business partners. We did some osusu together. We disagreed and I sacked myself. If you don't have the ability to discipline, you cannot get results. If you cannot make up your mind that you want results, your relation, your closest person will do you. In most cases, the people who sabi work, then sabi steal. In other cases, the people who deal like mumu, they are very trustworthy. You have to balance it. There are certain businesses that you can get started. You will put the checks and the balances. It reduces what you lose. But I tell you something. Don't be working in NDDC and someone is running your business and you don't put the checks and balances. You will just be empowering the people. Again, don't also be working in the commission and you think that you will get 100% income or loyalty. Give room. Please give room for peace of mind. The more you trust, it's the only person close to you, that's the person that can hurt you more. Listen, just know the business you're getting into. If you want to be helicopter business person is that you set it up, you're expecting, you're over-expecting. Learn from my experience. I have failed. I promise myself I won't fail again. But if you feel that you can overtrust, you go ahead. I don't have the mind to overtrust. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I want to say this can I recommend advices?
Yeah.
Okay. From over the years being in Asia, as staff, we are not retiring very soon, by God's grace. Nobody here is retiring next year, because I know the details. There are three things we should look at as staff, especially if we have some few years to go. First of all, control of loans you take. Control of loans you take. You may think you have so many years to go, but I tell you, with the new trend of every time there's a difference in the interest rates, it will come and crash on you when that time comes. Then secondly, if you have not started having insurance policies, you should go into it. There's even a contributing annuity plan you can start. You don't need to retire. Just what they call those waste money. It's not every time you go to Block and Smith. These are things that will assist you so that you have a portfolio. Because at 59, you don't have a portfolio, there will be problem. Especially when you find out that most of the people that are retiring will use some of their part of their pension to pay loans. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know if I should continue. Yes, continue. Are you sure? Yes. All right, let me give you some tips on setting up a business. Don't worry, I'm not charging you. Yeah, sure. It's up to them, so they can give you the material. If you have a plan, you have an interest, you want to do a startup. It's not every idea that can be commercialized. It's not every hobby. It's not every thing you go to do that can be commercialized. It's not everything that can be commercialized. It's not everything that can become a viable business. Make no mistake, some businesses are simply busyness. And some businesses cannot survive if your personality, your presence is not there. So, determine the need for that business you want to start. What's the why? What answer does it bring to society? What value does it bring? What does it create? What solution does it bring? Because everything is not about, you must not like that thing for it to bring money. I'll give you an example. I run a farm, and because of the space there, I was looking for what I could use to scale, that I will have large quantity, and that the return on investment is very fast. And one of the things that were recommended to me is a pig, pork. I don't like pork. No matter how it's going to make money, I don't like it. So what I'm telling you is that you must not like it for it to make money. Hello? Hello? Another thing that I would warn you so that you don't have buyers like me. I don't easily fall for businesses that are easy. I like the businesses that will task me. But these days, People with their system, with their device, will just make. I have a younger brother that is a millionaire in cryptocurrency. He operates, that is all the known cryptocurrencies. Okay? He doesn't have a signboard. It's just from his device. I don't know enough about IT. I am almost an illiterate. You understand? I cannot thrive in that business until I am able to acquaint myself with the rudiments. So if you're getting into something you're not prepared to know the depth of, you will fail. Because if you depend on a third party, you're like someone who wants to lose weight and you're depending on the coach to be push it forward, backward. Meanwhile, now you get the fat. Hello. You can't depend on a third party to lose weight. You have to do it yourself. So whatever you want to go into research, try to have a basic understanding. If you must go to Ikoku to sit with those people, go. Let them mentor you. Hello. Don't be too big. Determine whether your idea is really a good business plan. What problem does it solve? If your passion doesn't translate into a viable business, maybe you will be better off pursue it as a hobby or volunteer. Look around and see where there is a need. There has to be a need. There has to be a why. It must bring solution. It must bring solution. If you get to where most of us are from the water side, you get to a point where you see gully, you see water, you see body of water. You see canoes and you are being delayed to cross to the other side. Perhaps, if you can walk a bridge and put a toll gate, everybody who crosses will pay something. You have created a solution. Hello? That's the mindset. Number 2, evaluate your skills. Are you capable of running that thing yourself? Are you capable? Is it Chief Dokubo had some competencies in oil and gas? Chief Dokubo even does not have competency in certain areas of the local content. At his level, he could pay for anything, but Chief Dokubo would definitely crash because he's not going to do everything by himself. Hello? The skills that he needs, he's already planning to cheat Jerry and the other fellow. Their names will not be on the CAC document, and yet he wants to use them. Because he was papa to them, or mentor to them before, he feels that he can pull them. Listen, what you want to do, who has the skill to manage it? Make the person buy into it. Make the person be reasonably compensated. Most of the times it will work for you. Again, the next thing is, know what that guy know. If not, if that guy or that woman bail out, your business don't go. When I started Wash Express, we had the machines and equipment. I poached people from different laundries. And the people I poached were earning more than the manager. They were not graduates. But they were earning, at that time, they were earning more than the graduate who was their manager. They were technically skilled. But over time, as the manager, they learn, me too, they learn. Okay? Over time, the manager's pay became more than their own. I didn't take a dime from Wash Express until I retired. Everything I owned, everything I earned, everything I borrowed, I used to open the next Wash Express. I never touched it because, first and foremost, it's comfortable to work for the commission. Hello? So I wouldn't extend the appetite of my expenditure because I have more coming in. Evaluate your skills. Do you have an ability to do all the tasks necessary to make your business a success? Capability is important. If you don't, you will need to hire or consult an expert like me. An expert who has failed before will not let you fail. The one who has always passed. If you crash, you don't crash. I sell my market now, you know. Not everybody don't fail before now. Okay, the many persons who have failed, how many of them have come to confess? Those of them who borrowed, how many of them confess? But see my lender here. My helper. Oh. Number 3, consider the time involved. Some businesses has gestation of 6 months. Some businesses you can make it in 1 year. Some businesses it takes more than a year. Do not expect an overnight success. Agric business can yield for you within 6 months, within nine months, within a year. Some businesses will take more than a year. Wash Express took 9 months to break even. And when it broke even, every penny I earned washing materials for Le Méridien and then Protea before Golden Tulip. Every penny. By the way, keep patronizing Golden Tulip and Le Méridien. I'm the one that washes for them. The more customers they have, the more I wash for them. Hello? Every penny I earned, I applied it towards improving. Okay? I did not touch a kobo apart from the fact that my wife retired early to run it. So, apart from the salaries of the people who run it, I didn't take a dime. But, I could have taken a dime. After all, I'm the chairman, you know what I mean? Most people don't want to work 80 hours a week or even 40 hours once they reach retirement. It is important to figure out a way to do it such that it is not all consuming for you. It could be against your health. It may be something that you're not prepared to do when you are 60. But hey guys, hard work doesn't kill. Stay away from starting a brick and mortar business, like I told you. If you go to pure water business, if you go to manufacturing, if you do restauranting, bakery, it's brick and mortar. If you know every day they look, then go cheat you. Except when you have stabilized and you set up the systems. So it reduces what can go. But let me tell you something. The day some other person is so trusted and little by little begins to cheat you little by little as they go to market and all of that, except you have a way, you understand that business and you check once a while, you may not discover. Hello? Number 4, get good advice. Get a good advice, consult with those who should know. Apprenticeship is some way that we can use to learn something we didn't know. Don't feel too big to learn. That person has been in that business. It might be 10 years younger than you. Be humble. You want what he or she knows. Hello? Also consider those already in that sort of business. You see, I like Hausas. I like the Igbos. They know how to mentor themselves. Some will mentor as the young man or young woman works with them for 5-10 years. They help them set up. What can be better than that? So that person already knows from how the master has been failing and knows how to avoid certain pitfalls. In most cases, that young man even will sweet talk you more than the master. I get them for shade. You know the shade. Figure out how to finance your startup. Many businesses, especially those with no physical location, can be started for a minimal investment. Okay? If you need above 7 figures to get your dream business off the ground, you may need funding or investors, which create additional layers of complication. Don't invest money you can't afford to lose. I'll give you an example. Okay? Because I've failed severally before, so I know what works for me and what doesn't work for me. Before I got married, I could earn $1 million and I will invest $999,000 the next day, using $1,000 to just go and shack up myself. But when I got married, and after the experience of failing, when I make $1 million, I'll divide it into 3. 2 parts will be for investment. 1 part will be kept with my wife. But as I grew and became a little more confident, I do it 50-50. 50% of what I earn will go into investment. 25% will go into maybe the children, fees or something, just something for them. Out of the other 25%, of course, it will no longer be 25% because I will have paid my tithe. The other 15%, myself and my wife will choose where to travel to or what to eat or what just to flex. Hello? Something must kill a man. So whenever I'm going to earn a million, 50% is going for investment, 25% is going for the children, 15%, me and my wife will compete how to feel funky. So it may not work for you, but that's what works for me. Right this moment, what I do, I don't joke with that 15%. I don't at all. Nothing must affect it. Because it's the memory of that one that I will use to endure the endurance of the other one. Hello? As a matter of fact, it's what is keeping me now. It's the memory of whatever I've gone through that is making me endure, as the commission has not paid me and paid those I retired before. The Lord is good. Go and tell them, I need that money. Human resources management. Know if you want to manage others or can handle isolation of working alone. Some persons can work alone. Some persons can work in isolation. Some persons, they don't like disturbances. But check the kind of business you want to start. If you need staff, then you must work with people. But you see, some of us, we don't know how to manage a crowd of people. Some of us don't know how to manage people for results. Do you lead for results? If you lead for results, do you motivate? Sometimes some people can do what ordinarily they wouldn't do by themselves, but because they respect you, they believe in your vision. Because, you see, there's a way you talk to people, they will work with you. Even when money no dey. Hello? But when money come, don't be stingy. Many people who start businesses in retirement don't like the burden of managing employees. On the other hand, if you are running one-person business, you will end up spending a lot of time by yourself, and not everyone like that. Decide which setup is best fit for you before getting too far in the process. I was thinking of something to say to you, but I think I forgot. When I remember, I'll emphasize that. Have an exit strategy. If you start a business when you are 60, 65, you may be ready to stop running it when you are 75. For successful businesses, some people want to sell their businesses. Okay? Successful businesses, most Nigerians in the past, the president shows some difference. When they die, the business simply dies. But you have to succeed first before you can think about that, okay? And there's something that we all must know. If you start a business and it's only your presence that brings business or that makes it grow, you are still working, okay? You are still working for your pay, only in a different style. For you to know whether you're succeeding is your absence. Does that business still do what it's supposed to do and bring what it's supposed to bring? Hello? Have a plan whether it is to leave the business to your children or sell it or just shut it down. You should consider your plan and share with your spouse and family. Use your network, your professional connections. People who have been in the workforce for a long time know a lot of people. That gives you immediate access to potential customers as well as consultants who can help you get your business off the ground. Now, your networks can be your social asset. It can be your starting ground. I am proud to say that I have friends in this place. I'm proud to tell you that one of my financiers 14 years ago is in this room. But if I didn't pay her, I'm sure the husband will have taken police. Hello? Ofan. That's the thing. I won't even say it. I will not go near that end. But today I'm sure she can give testimony. When I borrow, I pay. All right, embrace technology. I have to confess to you, this is one place I'm not good at. But technology today can reduce your expenditure. Technology today can take care of several staff. I used to depend on a lot of people helping me with technology. I'm not ashamed to say it because it's one of the ways I have not been able to take advantage of what IT can do, like the crypto business that I told you of. I have to depend on my younger brother who lives in Abuja to help me with that. But I'm failing because if I try to know it enough, it will help me to make more money. If I'm not depending on him, I'm probably depending on another person in this room. Hello? But you see, the fact that I didn't know enough technology does not mean that I don't know its potential. You must know the potential of technology and be ready, be very ready to take advantage of it. One of the ways I took advantage of technology when I worked with the commission as director of procurement was I knew that award letters were being forged, faked here and there. It was a history and a problem of the commission. So I thought about it and used technology to block all of that. From my era, every award letter can be technologically scanned and confirmed. You don't need to go to anybody. And from that period, we blocked every way you could forge any of those things, and they came after me. Maybe it's part of the reason why they still have not recovered. From National Assembly, Arise News, Director of Procurement, NDDC, wanted and summoned by House Committee on this and that. Meanwhile, I've gone. I wish that they can translate it to another business, I could consult for them. Anyway, go and tell them I'm ready for consultancy. Embrace technology. Don't be like me. There are people who will use technology, and make so much money. So if you and I neglect, or you be like me, semi-illiterate, well, you wake up someday. There are things that are like, they are like plug and play. Think. You can even use technology to create solution. So technology in business is good. And for the brick and mortar business that I told you, there are certain things. So almost everything now can be digitalized. They can be digitized. Now, think of when you go to the supermarket. Every item that you're going to pay for has a code. So as you are paying for it, it is reducing from the stock. And at the back end, the owner or the person that has that duty, he already knows the number of items they have to replace the next weekend. That's technology. Hello. But I didn't maximize the use of technology. But at least I know that it has great potential. Don't be like me. Number 10, protect your assets. The lawyers amongst us will tell you, if you don't protect your assets, they will fritter away. Because when your business begins to grow, there are times when you will need to scale. You will need some additional financing from bank. If anything happens to you, it is the same protection of your asset that will help your next of kin. All right. Don't expect overnight success. I said earlier, many businesses have different gestation periods. Take, for instance, if you're into poultry, you probably will get your first sales 3 months thereabout. Because the international standard for restaurant use of poultry meat, is 2.5 months. That's 12 weeks, right? 12 weeks is 2.5 months. So within 3 months, you have a turnaround, right? But those in manufacturing, it may not be the same. The supermarket people, their margin is very small, but they have faster turnover. These things matter. If you're a distributor of a certain product, you must know your turnaround time. And Again, it's important for you to note the quantity, the traffic. Some people are in high margin business. Some people are in average margin business. Some people are in very small margin business. The laundry and dry cleaning, the mechanized laundry that we run, has very small. So it's a turnover. For instance, when Golden Tulip fills up, Le Méridien fills up, Escape Hotel fills up, and some from Landmark Hotel and one or two other hotels, you will see our place is, look, when I go, I will just be walking around the factory. I'll be whistling because inside my head I calculate the money. This world is not my home. I am just passing through. I'll be inspecting because every clothing, every cotton, every bedspread gives me some level of ususu. Do you understand? But there are those who only one hit, oil and gas, one contract, harbor. They don't cover syllabus for 4 months. I'm not in that kind of business, so I cannot take the risk that the people who are in high margin take. I'm in a small kobo business. If you take the eye of that big business, oil and gas, to enter it, you enter trouble. Look at the people who do contracts, the people who do NDDC contract. Sometimes they borrow money to do it. In 6 months, in 1 year, they've not been paid. So you look at it. Abi? That's the thing. So you have to think well. Don't plan against the money you have not earned. And don't over chop the business. Some of us, we use our mouth to chop down the business. The business earns an average of 1 million in a week or so, and then we behave like certain politicians who just lost office. The politician might just come. When I don't make any sales, oh yeah, bring. It is 2-3 times the business is down. That's why most politicians can't run good business. Government business is suffering because of the large appetite of politicians, whack and go. May that not be your portion. You may need to try several things and radically change your initial business plan before you find a formula that works for you. You have to think of the gestation period of whatever you are going to do. Don't take the expectation of a poultry farm and match it with that of laundry. You will get crashed. But once you get started, laundry is like printing business. When you buy the machine, it serves you for very long. So also is like a gym. You buy the machine, it serves you for very long. But you can get into Bolt's business. The vehicle you bought now, by this time next year, is already giving you so much problem. The level of wear and tear and what you will need to put back into it in consideration, you will say that it's like plug and play. But the person who invested so much in a printing machine, that printing machine will serve the person probably for 10 years. It's not the same. So if you take the mindset of Bolt's business and you enter printing, you will crash before your time. Understand that this whole journey to anchor a career is not going to be a linear thing. Allow yourself to take some ride and try some stuff. But like I said, experience is the best teacher. Let my experience of failure help you not to fail. But if you choose to fail, go ahead. It's your choice. Fear is a choice. Faith is a choice. You can be afraid now and you do nothing. You can have faith enough to get started now. Tomorrow is a different story. So it's your choice. I'll close with this, except for your questions. Look at this very well. Assess it with what we have talked about. We talked about planning and designing your retirement. We also talked about setting up a business. And I ended by saying, fear is a choice, faith is a choice. Whichever you choose, you are right. In the beginning, I said to you, crisis and adversity, they also have opportunities in them. Prepare yourself to go into any crisis or receive any crisis and respond with a faithful, positive mind. Look at this and give me it's another case study. Let's discuss it and we'll close with this. Who's making the first comment? Yeah. Let's have microphone, please.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon.
Looking at the potentials of the young boy, he does not have fear. He has agility because he believes.
Let's put our hands together for that. He doesn't have fear. And she recognizes that this young one has agility. He is flexible. So if you don't have fear, what is giving you confidence? Not just faith. Faith is the foundation. Before action, knowledge. Knowledge. The cocoa. Whatever you are getting into, have some time. Think about it. Not casual thinking. If you are getting into a business, try to know something about that business. Try. If you are planning retirement, don't be filled with anxiety and fear of retirement. It will come anyway. Try and make up your mind, I need to do something about this. Whatever you fear, okay, you give room to grow. And it becomes a masquerade or a monster. Next.
Also, the limits he has is that there's no boundaries. So without boundaries, he can maneuver immediately.
Think outside the box. All die and I die. That guy is saying it. All die and I die. All die and I die. Let me face it. Face your fears.
And also what he envisions is that with the cheering from the crowd, he will have a good success. Because looking at it now, and remembering what you said about your lender, I remember I was also one of the applicants you came to. And I refused to give you that 7.5 Alaibe money. You know, I put it inside a building project. But unfortunately, the current situation is not giving me money from the tenants.
No.
Because
that's a challenge which you can overcome.
How do I go about it?
Now, you see, you didn't do wrong for not bringing it that time. You had use for it. As at that time, Rose and her husband had built their house, and there was no immediate need for that money. So she could loan me. So don't feel bad that you put it in a building, now there is no tenant. It's a different scenario altogether. Again, location may be another thing. Because if you are putting your business, you probably bought a cheaper land. Or you were unlucky that it's in between where there had been some gang fight and all of that.
Yeah, that time it was the kidnapping zone.
You see?
So you just deter. But now what happens? Knowing that you're not getting rent and the building is there, it's a residential, it's not fit for purpose for a commercial need.
Okay.
How do you convert, or what do you do in this current scenario?
The truth is, if I share my experience for you, again, it may not help you. But I wouldn't be telling you what you should do from here when I haven't known the kind of building, the exact location, and what I can advise about it. But I tell you something. It may not work for you. My sister, Barrister Lina, you know about, is it 12 or 13 years back? When you visited me, we just built our house at Obunabali. We prepared only the room my wife and I were using, the sitting room and the kitchen. The rest going upstairs, we use It was no, not wallpaper. It was a bookshelf. We covered the staircase so that people don't know that upstairs have not been built. It took the next 1 year to complete building that house. Why am I telling this story? And then the next 2 years, I got C of O for it because I needed to use it to borrow. What I'm trying to say right now is that anybody who looked at that house when we finished it said, wow, what a house. The road that leads to it, you probably will pass certain persons whose children are bathing outside. When the bank goes to look at it, they say, wow. When they see the picture, they say, wow. When they visit it, they say, but it's in the road to it. I am talking to you. I had an investment to make. I sold. It took me 1 year to convince my wife. We sold the property. It's no longer ours. We sold it. We sold it. We're now living in Transamadi Gardens. We sold it for 2 reasons. One, we needed capital. So we sold it for what it was and put in a new business and scrape the top to buy one small, the smallest building here. Because only 2 of us, the children know they again, we are retired people. So I can't advise you what to do until I've seen that. That house was equivalent of 2 duplexes. Where we're staying is 1/3 of the one we sold. And some people thought that I was stupid. I merely sold the bigger house, got some money, used part of it. We're living here, smallest of the houses here. It's very small. So I don't know what you want to do.
Then also the bigger man, the potential he has is that he has enough stamina.
Stamina, strength. But hold it there. Before you continue, don't get deceived that your strength or the strength of the commission that you work gives you advantage. Strength without strategy is babash. The arm of flesh will fail you. Strength without your preparation is babash. Strength without preparation is babash. This guy has strength. He's a bully. He's bulky. He's confident. He has always been there. It's just like the multinationals. It's just like you are coming out of business and you are seeing several other businesses. Where do I start? That's the first thing. But this guy is like Coca-Cola. Hello. Reliable. Not shaking. So he's relying on his strength. But he failed in one you pointed out. He failed to be flexible. So what advantage can you bring to the marketplace? First, you have to be flexible. Second, you have to think outside the box. Third, fearless. Fearless. Damn the consequence. All die now. Die. Next.
He envisions for the bigger man, he envisions because of his stability that he will always
It will crush this guy. Yeah. That's the way Coca-Cola has always been. They will crush every other soft drink. But the other soft drinks are selling their own. You too will sell. Don't say because, listen, on this street, this road, there is Market Square, there's Living Tune, there's Well Done. Which other one? They are all selling. They are all selling. This will make you laugh, but what impression this gives is that this little guy is simply trying his luck. He's evaluating the bigger guy. He's thinking in his brain, this is not physical. Because it is physical. It's like David and Goliath. The man just kick him. He is, in his mind, he's thinking, he's evaluating, he's researching, what makes this guy, what are his steps, what award has he won, what moves. And how can I counter that move? He's building his strategy. This picture may not be physical, it may be mental. This guy is just, how I go take enter this man? He has to start somewhere. What are the weaknesses of this guy? This guy thinks that his strength is actually his highest asset. But that strength will fail him. You can imagine what has happened. This bully has gotten ready. This bully is going with strength. I will crush you. And that's one just move like this. Have you, as a child, have you pursued native fowl? The way you are pursuing the native fowl is bending like this, like until sometimes you fall. That's exactly what has happened to this guy. He came with strength, he came with confidence, but he was over bloated. And one way or the other, he moved. This guy dodged. This is what has happened. That's the way you can defeat the giants that you fear. Thank you very much.
Much, Mr. President. I'm sure we've had a very rewarding learning session. And I believe that most of these experiences or part of this lecture will form our new sets of philosophy and practice in the years ahead, and I hope that it brings you results and rewards. Thank you very much for your patience, and thank you for your time. At this point, before we close this session and go for our lunch and then leave this place, I would like us to recognize a few persons. Each and every one of us here have contributed to making this class worthwhile. But there are a few basic two persons that we want to recognize here. First of all is the most consistent and punctual participant in this workshop. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mr. Austin AJ. Please. Who has a very good phone here, because my photographer has gone. We usually do a plaque with his picture and that of the president and to send it to him. So please, who has a very good quality phone that can give me the picture? You have, no, Ejiro, yes. Yes, you have a very good. So you take him. It's not phone, it's machine. Okay, machine, yes. So please, Mr. AJ, you come out and then you take a presidential handshake and then we take the picture and frame it and send it to you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, all right. Okay, so we'll do one more. You know, we've had several trainings, and usually the highest hierarchy of NDDC, they just come, put their head, and then they're out. But we'll have a director here who has been consistent in all the class. Please, let's put our hands together to Barrister Lina Okara. Yes. She has been in all the class. Madam, please, you come. We'll do a plaque for you. We'll put it in your office. So maybe you encourage other of your colleagues so that when they come for training, they will stay through. All right, thank you. So we take our photograph, and then we'll frame it and send to her. Thank you very much. Thank you. The rest of us, I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope that this will be a future of many more mutually beneficial programs that we do for the Commission. You are members of the Institute. I want to use this opportunity to crave your indulgence to kind of assist the Institute wherever you can to help us build capacity, to help us build consultancy within the system. We thank you for your many years of support, and then we'll bring in this workshop to a close. We'll send you, all of you have received, at least in this class, would have received by now all of the lecture materials. Except health. No, you've gotten it by now. Yes. This is the only class that I've gotten all their resource material before the class ends. And by this evening, before 8 o'clock, you all have your certificates on your phone. And your certificate is verifiable. There is nobody that can forge your certificate. So that's what we have done. You get it this evening, and then you get pictures. Yeah, you get all the pictures, you get it. I'll send the pictures, and I'll send you a feedback form. Please, it might take like 5 minutes to fill it. Just fill it, and let us have your view of what has happened here and how we can improve, including our resource persons, help us evaluate them so that we know whether to bring them again for the next event that we have. Now, having said that, I don't know whether anybody has any question. Otherwise, we'll be rising and taking the opening formalities, and then we'll go take our meals. Please let me borrow your national anthem. All right. Any question? No question. Let's rise to our feet, please. So as usual, we'll have the directors, director, deputy directors, assistant directors will go to take their meal. Then the rest of us will join them immediately. We won't take your time. And the rest of us will do that like that we did yesterday. It was more organized. All right, thank you very much. So closing prayers, second stanza of the national anthem. 1, 2, go. O God of creation, direct our noble cause, guide our leaders right, help you the truth to know, in love and honesty to grow, and live in just and true. Great lofty heights attain, to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. The faithfuls, we see no limit to what we can be. We see no limit to what we can do. We see no limit to what we can have, because we see no limit to the power of God. We see no limit to the power of our mind, and we see no limit to the power in the word of God. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Please, directors, please, you take your meals.